Once a design is created or opened, it can be edited in many ways. To edit any object, it must first be selected. If a design is grouped, it must first be ungrouped to edit only part of the object. Some designs may require multiple ungroupings. I can right-click and select Ungroup. When I click on a different part of the design, I can right-click and ungroup again. Some designs may be combined, and in this case, they will need to be broken apart in order to select individual objects. Once an object has been ungrouped and broken apart, there are many ways to select objects in DesignWorks. One of the easiest ways to select an object is with your mouse. The rectangle selection must be selected, and then you can click on an object to select it. When the object is selected, a border forms around that object, and if you rest your mouse in the center of the rectangle selection, you can see the dimensions of that particular object. You can also change the color of the rectangle selection by going to Tools and Options, go to the Colors and Sizes tab, select Rectangle Selection, and then change the color and click OK. This may make it easier to see the selection rectangle. To deselect, I'll click outside the box. If I want to select multiple items, there are different ways to do this. I can use a selection rectangle by clicking and dragging around two or more objects, and it will select those objects. I can also hold down the Shift or the Control keys and select multiple objects. If you change your mind about one of the objects, continue to hold the Control key down and just click on that object to deselect. Again, I'll click outside the selection box to deselect. If I want to select all the objects, I can go to Edit, Select All, or use Control A as shortcut keys on the keyboard. For irregularly shaped objects, I can hold down the Alt key and drag a selection over part of the design, and that will select the entire object. If you don't use the Alt key, then all objects have to be within the bounding box or they will not be selected. There's another option for the selection, and that is the lasso. If I click on the rectangle selection icon and hold, I can choose the lasso selection tool. With the lasso selection, click and drag a box around the object to select it. All items have to be totally inside the shape unless you use the Alt key as you're clicking and dragging. If you use the Alt key and click and drag around the object, it will select the entire object, even if you didn't get the box completely around the object. You can change the default selection tool in Tool Options. Go to Tools and Options, click on Tools, and you can make the lasso your default selection tool. In Options, I can also choose to allow polygon selection with the lasso, and then click OK. When this is specified, I can form the selection by clicking around the shape to include the nodes. When I right-click, the shape is selected. You can also select by color through the Thread or Brushes palette. Right-click on the color chip you want to choose in the Colors Used section and choose Select By. You can choose Fill Color, Pin Color, or any color. Fill Color will select all objects that have the fill color you selected. Pin Color will select all the objects that have the outline color you selected. And any color will select objects that have the fill or pin color you selected. Any changes you make will affect all these selected objects. Another quick and easy method for selection is by clicking on the appropriate tray in Sequence Manager. Once an object is selected, you can edit it in many ways.